Head up Water Channel, thank you for tuning in. Now, I'm titling this video By the Time She Gets to You. And I'm talking to black men in particular because it really means by the time women in Asia get to black men. Okay, so uh, I'm not saying all women are like this out here. I'm not generalizing. But in most cases, this happens. Okay, in many cases, this happens. I got into an argument with a guy about this a couple of days ago, right? And he was telling me like, he was offended, and I'm saying like, most of the time when women start dating foreigners and particularly black men in Asia, um, they're considered no good amongst their own men. Now this guy was arguing me saying like, oh, I'm dating a Japanese woman. She's 28. We live in Japan, and a lot of Japanese men they're always trying to approach to talk to her, and they're always trying to date her, or they're always trying to talk to her, whatever. They're jealous of our relationship. And I'm like, man, listen, there's a huge difference between men that want to cuff your girl and men that want to fuck your girl. There are men that want to fuck your girl, but there are, that doesn't mean they want to cuff her. It's a huge difference. She's 28 too. So, and if you listen to my previous videos, any woman that's 25 and older in Asia, is like most men consider her no good in Asia. That's just what it is. That's just not my conjecture. This is what the people tell me. This is what they say to me. Okay, so I have some screenshots here today, and I want to tell you a quick story, okay? Now, this young lady right here on the screen, I used to live in Beijing 3 years ago. I met her through Scout. So, but she was still living in the Philippines, and I'm like, well, I don't even know if I want to talk to you. But she was like, no, I got to get this certificate real quick. Then I could move to Beijing. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we would FaceTime or whatever, and I quickly found out that her ex-boyfriend had just broke up with her. He didn't even break up with her. He just got up and left, okay? And it was a white guy. So she was saying, like we would talk on the phone, but then, every now and then she would be like, oh, like, my ex, he was business professional. And that's another key term that they use for a lot of white men out here, white males, as if, because they don't use that term. They don't describe black men as business professional, even though there are a lot of black men in the world that are business professional. They don't associate that term with black men. They only associate that term with white men. There are business professional white men in Asia, but there are a lot of white men who are not business professional. Okay, but when they say that, they're usually talking about a white guy. And she told me he was white, and it was an older guy too. And he just got up and left, which a lot of Caucasian males in Asia, when they break up with a woman, like most of the time they just got to get up and leave because they, it's for their safety. They never know, like, okay, if I tell this woman that I'm gonna break up with her, that it's over, it's not working out, what are the repercussions? What is she gonna do to me? Many cases when you meet an Asian woman out here and their ex was a white dude, most of the time they'll say, well, I don't know what happened. He just got up and left and I didn't hear from him again. Okay, he didn't say anything. I hear that a lot. But she was just sad over the phone and through texting saying like, oh my God, I miss him so much, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I guess she's just trying to use me as the emotional douchebag, and I'm going to back off. I'm going to just holler at these other women that are over here anyway. I'm in China. There's women that I'm talking to over here anyways. I might as well deal with them. I shouldn't even worry about her. This woman's, pretty attractive, but I'm not even going to deal with her anymore. Okay? So she would message me, and I would give her one-word answers from time to time, but then one day she messaged me this. She said, hi, I have a Korean friend here with me. Well, let me take you back a little bit. I moved the same month that I moved out. When I left China, that was the same month she moved into China. So when she messaged me again, she was like, oh, I'm here. I'm like, well, I left already. She was like, oh, when did you leave? I'm like, I left. It was in a February. She was like, oh, that's the same month I moved here. I'm like, oh, so I'm not there anymore. So she asked me when I was coming back. I was like, probably never. Or I just told her I don't know. So we weren't really communicating like that for me to just tell her I'm leaving. Right. So then one day when she was, in Beijing working. She said, "Hi, I have a Korean friend here with me now on my lunch break. I mentioned you to her. She loves black men." Now already, I haven't really even been talking to her like that, but it's like, telling me like, hey, let me just pass you off to her because she likes black guys. You two can have a good time together, or whatever. She likes black guys, which is kind of, but I wasn't even really talking to her anyway. But I already knew that it seemed like she doesn't really like black men, but going through a series of unfortunate events throughout her life when it came to dating, she felt like, okay, white guys don't like me, my own men don't like me. I guess I have to dip into the black pool now, which I really don't want to, but I'm running out of options. But she moved to Beijing, and there are white guys in Beijing at the nightclubs and everything that she's meeting or whatever. I guess. And then she didn't have to tell me that at all, but she just wanted to pass her to me. And me and her, we weren't even really talking like that. Okay. Anyways, another day she sends me this. I just want to ask if you become like a playboy too. I'm thinking, why after a man, excuse the English, why after a man sleep with women, then they'll choose to leave after? What usually is a man's reason? Is he married? He thinks girls easy type. What others? What is the topmost reason? Why would some people, after they have sex, it works out and it turns into a relationship? So already I'm like, okay, I haven't talked to you in a long time. So I'm like, what is this about? Why are you asking me if I'm becoming like a playboy, which I'm sleeping around with other women? Okay. And women out here in Asia, they're quick to call a man a butterfly or a playboy, right? They always call black men playboys out here, right? But anyways, really what happened was, I'm gonna build up the story too, but I'm gonna show this to you. Just someone, man, I met here because I asked her some questions. He was from Europe, of course. When did this happen? Don't even know his full name, real name, just nickname. This month. Okay, what else? That's too much personal questions. Stop asking me more, please. Just answer my question, men in general. So now you're being rude. If you can't answer, just say no, simple. You're very disrespectful. Maybe he left because you're rude. No, it's not rude. I just need some privacy if you respect it. And I don't even have all the screenshots for, I didn't even save the whole conversation. I wish I did. But basically what happened was this, and later on I found out something else too, as I kept messaging her, trying to get some information. Basically this, she went to Beijing, messing around with different guys, and in this one particular month, right, that she's talking about, she slept with 5 different white guys. She's talking about one in particular, one of the guys that she slept with, she really, really liked, right? But he dropped her also. Okay, so when she was talking to me, she was trying to use me as an emotional douchebag, right? And I caught on to that real early and I stopped talking to her, right? But she kind of pretending like she was into me in the beginning, which she really wasn't. And I knew it, so I stopped talking to her. But now she's asking me a question, about her situation. She slept with 5 guys in a month, right? They were all white. And she slept with them the same day or the next day after she met them from the clubs. And I found out later on, she didn't know any of their names, just a nickname. She's just asking me about one particular guy right here. And they all dropped her like a bad habit. They just had sex with her and they moved on. So she's asking me like, okay, what does it mean? How come these guys don't want me? I'm giving them what they want. But she has some, in her mentality, you're not presenting yourself as a woman. When you present yourself as a hoe, most guys, they'll bang a hot girl the night they meet them. Will they take them seriously? No, they're worried about, damn, like, what did I do? I messed up. I should probably go to the clinic. When you present yourself like a hoe, you'll get treated like a hoe. Okay? But in her mind, And in many cases, it's a lot of women out here, not all, but a lot of women, they feel like, okay, if I meet a white guy, give him what he wants early, he'll probably lock me down if I give him what he wants. But really, they don't take some of these women serious. Okay, it's like if it's too easy, I don't want it. Like Tupac said, I don't want it if it's that easy, because you'll just do that for the next guy. She had sex with 5 guys in 1 month, didn't know any of their names. That's how thirsty she was for white dudes. She's asking me, and then she got mad at me because I'm trying to get some questions out of her. And I gave her the real business. I said, look, these men don't want you. You're too easy. No man wants a woman that's that easy. If a man will push the limit in asking you, like, hey, they'll test the boundaries to see, okay, let me just be bold enough to ask if I can have sex with her. Wow, it's that easy. Because if you go on YouTube and you type in white guys dating Asian women and Asians or whatever, you'll see a lot of pigs on YouTube saying like, hey, these women, they just throw themselves at me. They're not there to wipe up anything. They're trying to get as many notches under their belt as possible because they weren't getting any action over in their home country like that. So these are the type of women that by the time they get to you, they'll lie to you and tell you like, oh, my own man don't want me. And they're pretty attractive, but there are several reasons why their own men do not want to get with women like this. Okay? Then they immediately go after, in many cases, white dudes, white foreigners, if they're in shape and they're somewhat attractive. Something wrong with them mentally. And they'll just sleep around with white dude after white dude after white dude that they meet just because they're white. Because they want to get saved. They want to have quote unquote white babies or whatever. And they'll just throw themselves at a guy. And this is why most men do not break up with women like this face to face, because they see the desperation in their eyes. Okay? So they they stop talking to them or whatever. They don't tell them their real name because they think, okay, you might look them up. They don't tell you where they live because now hey, who knows what you might bring over there, what type of drama you might bring over there to their home. And, these men don't really take them that serious. And so they sleeping around and they're like, okay, this one guy, he left me he dropped me. I see another guy, he had sex with me. I can't message him and he blocked me. I can't call him. I can't go over there, this, that, and the third. So then they're like, fuck, they get so tired after a while. And then they get with a black guy. And then, a lot of black men, they ask like, hey, have you been with a foreigner before? They're like, yeah. But, a lot of them were white or whatever. And then they'll lie just to try to make them seem angelic and wholesome. Like, oh, no, I've only dated like 3 guys, because they don't count all the other loose dick that they've had. Oh, I've only dated 3 guys. It was long term. I was with a Filipino guy for this many years. Then, I dated a foreigner. We were together this long. Then he left me. I don't know why he left me. And so I've only had like 2 or 3 boyfriends, when really they don't count everybody else that they fuck. They don't really tell you that they've been through, not all, okay? They don't, but by the time they get to you brothers out there, they don't really tell you how they were just handing out pussy left and right, amongst Caucasian males, like it was samples at Costco's, okay? And then they just got tired and they finally realized, okay, my loose, promiscuous behavior is not locking these men down. So then they feel like, okay, I guess I'm no good. I guess I'll go mess with black men now. That's usually how it is, okay? Not all the time, but that's usually how it is. I read in between the lines, so I'm just letting you guys know, okay? Don't believe everything you see and hear coming from a lot of women that tell you that, okay? So, but there are some, good, wholesome women who just, they like black culture or whatever. They like what they see in the media, and they want to get with you or whatever. But, it's your duty to teach the real culture, real black culture, not hip hop culture. Okay, there's nothing wrong with hip hop, but teach them real black culture, put them up on game. And not all women are like this, but in many cases, there are a lot of women like this. I wish I had the whole conversation. But I'm over and I'm out. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace.